You are entering a world inspired by the writings of H.P. Lovecraft. A world in which regular, everyday people are confronted with ancient horrors from beyond the stars and battle to keep their eldritch forms locked away and against those foolish enough to try to summon them. A world where simply knowing about these malevolent beings erodes the foundations of your mind, and those who fight against the darkness routinely end up mad or dead. This adventure is a sample module offered for free from the fine folks over at Chaosium.com. It is called The Haunting. It may very well be one of the most played adventures using the Call of Cthulhu gaming system ever. It takes place in an idealized version of the 1920s, and as such we will not be going into the darker social issues that the world faced. This is a world of mobsters and prohibition, flappers and jazz. The horrors that exist come not from society, but from something far more sinister. Of Cthulhu in his house at Raleigh, eternally slumbering, waiting for his next rising. The next moment the stars align, or some mad mortal awakens him by drawing power given by the ancients and the lesser beings. Power that is always given with a price. Okay, let's get this going. The hot summer heat oppressively clings to you as you make your way through Fort Worth headed for your meeting. You offer up a small gratitude of thankfulness that it hasn't rained for a month, or else it would be hot and humid. As it is, you can wear light airy clothing and keep the jacket over your shoulder until you get back indoors and only be mostly covered in a thin film of sticky sweat by the time you arrive anywhere. The trolley lines end some blocks before your final destination, and the buildings become slightly older and the neighborhood slightly less respectful the closer you get to the office. It's nothing to worry about in the daytime, but something tells you better not be alone around here at nighttime. Entering the office building, you quickly find the office of the person you've come to meet today, listed on the bulletin board, Suite 304. You walk over to the lift and press the call button, but the light remains stubbornly off, and you can hear no sound of machinery moving behind the closed lift doors. Looking around, you see a sign reading "Out of Order," shoved in the dry dirt of a yellowing potted plant by the lift. With a sigh, you take the stairs. 3 floors later, and a short walk down a hall, you arrive in front of a worn door with a tarnished mail slot at the midpoint and an obscure glass window taking up most of the upper half of it. In large bronze lettering that is beginning to flake off, in several locations you read the name of the person you've traveled to meet today. P. Hook, Private Eye. You open the door and find that you're the last person to arrive. Including yourself, there are now 3 people standing inside the office of Detective Hook. The office is just large enough for everyone to find some place to sit or lean against a wall without being uncomfortably close to anyone else. The air in the office is thick with the stale smell of cigar smoke. Any relief you might get from opening a window is clearly not an option, as you can barely see the faint outline of diffuse sunlight seeping in around the file cabinets covered in clutter. Though you have little doubt Hook's office is in a constant state of disarray, something about the way the clutter is strewn about makes you think that some unhappy client recently paid Hook a visit. The fact that Hook is gingerly treating a swollen black eye with a small cut across his eyebrow certainly doesn't hurt you putting the pieces together. Detective Hook gives a small grunt as you shut the door. Well now, that you finally all arrived, let's cut to the chase. As I said on the phone with each of you previously, I'm looking to retain your services for the next several days. Hook gives a scornful laugh and tenderly places a cool rag against his eyes as he says, "Retained." As I promised, the client, Mr. Knott, has provided all the important information in this letter, including the key to the property. I expect daily reports to pass on to Mr. Knott. I suggest you introduce yourself to each other, and if you have any questions, now's the time to ask them. I'll be pursuing my own investigations and will not be accompanying you, but if you get stuck, contact me and I'll try to get you pointed in the right directions. And he gives you this first handout. So the way that you're going to be able to see this, now that I've shared it with you, is if you click on your character icon in the bottom left, you'll be able to look at handouts, and you should be able to see
handouts.
The handout that was
Letter
just
1
given to you.
Loading PDF.
So if one of you want to read that.
To whom it may concern, I have asked Detective Hook to hire such people as he deems trustworthy to assist my company with a most unusual property known locally as the Corbitt house. The former tenants, the Hall family, were involved in an unfortunate tragedy, and a nonsensical superstition has arisen that the house sits on some burial mound or some other pagan mumbo-jumbo. I desire for the property to be thoroughly investigated, the so-called mysterious, I thought that was an H, mysterious happenings to have their mundane causes fully exposed, and all such matters set straight once and for all, as I have been unable to rent the property since the tragedy. It is my hope and expectation that you can clear things up and restore the property's good name. As explained to detective? Yeah. I'm assuming detective.
Detective Hook.
Yeah, I don't think that's how you spell detective. I am willing to pay each of you $25 a day to cover your time and expenses, along with a $25 advance. The advance, along with the key to the property, have been entrusted to Detective Hook. I will leave you to your jobs of record checking, newspaper reading, digging through old library shelves, or whatever it is that you would be investigator type people are wont to do. Whew. Made it.
Clap.
Yeah, good job. Good job. Okay, so that is all of the kind of prompt you guys are given for deciding what you want to do to investigate this strange house and what's going on within it. If you have any questions for the detective, as he said, now's the time to be asking them.
Well, where to even start?
Detective Hook, where is this house?
This house is located a couple blocks south of here in Hell's Half Acre. It's on Houston Street. And he gives you the address along with the key to the property.
How rural is that area? Are there any forests?
No, this is very much urban property. In fact, this place was it's kind of an eclectic mix of houses and industrial sites, bars, taverns, brothels until very recently.
Do we have any persons of interest we can talk to? Someone who's familiar with the property.
The current landowner is Mr. Knott. He is your employer for this. He very recently came into it. The previous individuals, the Hall family, they have met unfortunate circumstances. Beyond that, I'm not too sure.
Okay.
You can always go around the neighborhood and try to find someone who might know something more.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up my second monitor so I can see the StreamYards and the game at the same time. Well then, greetings, gentlemen. I see we'll be accompanying each other.
Appears so.
What skills do you provide to the table?
That is a good question. Let me think for a second. Scroll. Fast talking, apparently. And I can be persuasion. Gosh, I can be persuasive if I need to be.
Ah, so your weapons are your mouth and your mind.
And this handgun here. But yeah, mostly my sharp wit. Yes, that is me.
So, what was your character's name again?
I'm Carlo. I'm not sure about this quiet guy. He seems to be dealing with some things. Or going through some things. There we go.
What would you like to know about my character? Let's play in character. What would your character try to observe, or what would he ask?
Let's see. I have to kind of reread my backstory a little bit. Well, I would probably try and figure out if, as I'm kind of connected to the mafia, I would, be thinking about your name and if your friend or rival or whatever, but also just kind of like sizing you up.
So, as you see the person in front of you, you see about 6'3", kind of stocky built, Caucasian male, brown hair, blue eyes, but he's got a gruff look about him. You ask his name and he replies, "You can call me John."
John. Okay, John. I'm Carlo.
Good to meet you,
Mhm.
Carlo.
Let's see. Did I actually put my height and weight anywhere?
John seems to be wearing, how do I describe it? Clothing that someone working class would wear. Clothing that would hold up well against a lot of wear and tear. Was there cargo pants back in that era? Pants with like large side pockets. Black. You notice his black boots, but they're not normal working boots. They look more military.
Interesting. Well, I've got a cheap suit. It mostly fits. Let's see. I am having a hard time navigating my character sheet. Sorry. I could have sworn I did like a height and weight to kind of describe my build, but anyway, yeah, a mostly fitting suit, kind of stocky. Doesn't look like I run much. Yeah, I'm
Edit character sheet.
So yeah, I'm kind of give the vibe that I'm kind of just here for the money.
Let me give some basic details about Daniel's character while he's having to look things up. See, Daniel, he's a kind of a 35-year-old man, and he has the kind of farm look to him, a very everyday type person. Jeans, rolled up shirt, not a cowboy hat, but more of a farm type hat. He seems like a real everyman, down to earth kind of fellow. Is how I believe he would describe himself. He's very nondescript, someone you wouldn't pick out of a crowd. And beyond that, I don't know enough about his character to know if he'd even introduce himself.
John just gives him a once-over and goes, "Very well."
I would introduce myself.
Okay, so I didn't want to speak for you.
Too much.
I am being a bad player tonight. I'm dealing with other things. I would introduce myself and I would tell you about myself, but give me a minute to pull up my character sheet and remind me who I am.
Right, that's what I was doing. I did forget to mention I'm on the younger side. Doesn't look like I've worked too many hard jobs.
So can you tell us what these strange happenings are in the house?
That is a good question.
Detective Hook shakes his head. Sorry, boys, I got nothing on this one. You'll have to go find the information yourself. try asking up at the Star Telegram. It's not too far from here. It's a local newspaper. You can ask the neighborhoods. Hit up a library for all I care.
So you want us to go to the library to find out current events at a house?
You can get like periodicals at a
check
library.
the periodicals, yeah.
I give him a skeptical look. Say, okay.
Which one do you want to go to first? The library or hit up the press?
I think the library would probably be a good place to start.
I'm more inclined for the press.
Dang it, I'm a tiebreaker. Let's go to the library.
All right.
Matt, do any of us get a car starting off, or?
Well, about that.
Or do we walk to the library?
Y'all tell me, did any of y'all decide that your characters had enough upward mobility to have cars?
How common are cars in the 20s?
Didn't think that was part of the dealio.
Well, or like a horse carriage. I mean,
So, ironically, Daniel and Zach, y'all don't know him, but there was a guy named Jim who was supposed to be joining us tonight who, unfortunately, he had to pull out, which we didn't hear anything after. He just said, hey, I'm not available tonight. So hopefully he joins us for the next session. But his character would most definitely have a vehicle. So unfortunately, you guys are a bunch of flatfoots tonight.
Unless one of us claim to have a car?
Isn't there a wealth? What was it? Credit rating?
Indeed.
What level would be appropriate that someone would own a car?
You would have to be on the wealthier side of life to be having a car at this time.
I'm at a 32.
Yeah, I'm at 50.
Well,
50? My wealth,
50?
my credit
50?
rating.
That's got to be close. Come on.
I was gonna say 50. I think you could probably.
I think I did my credit rating wrong because mine's 16.
No, you did.
You're poor.
You chose where to spend those points. Let's see.
There's a checkpoint right over my language. So I can't even really. I mean, I can kind of guess what number it is, but I'm not positive.
Oh, yes, that reminds me. If any of y'all did choose other language, you need to specify which language you know.
I know Draconic.
Let's see, a 50, that'd probably be equivalent to about $25,000 in assets, which that's 1920s money, so for modern day money, you would have about $500,000 worth of assets.
Oh, wow.
So yes, I think it is
You
reasonable
could
to
have
say
2 cars.
Maybe even 3 cars.
Grow up, not go crazy.
Ugh, I guess we can use my car.
Yay!
Okay, to the library, gentlemen.
Doo-doo-doo.
Let's see.
So our friend here, Carlo, has a very basic off the line Ford.
Hey, don't you be calling me basic.
And you're more wealthy than me. My character would probably have a horse.
Alright, so you boys walk up the concrete steps and enter the Carnegie Library at 9th and Throckmorton Street. It's an odd building that looks like they wanted an impressive Greek-style building with large columns and marble floors, and then ran out of money settling for a brick exterior with a couple concrete pillars. Despite it being a place where people try to make as little noise as possible, you can't help but be acutely aware of how the polished concrete causes your every step to loudly click in the large open spaces of the library. There's a young woman sitting at the checkout desk at the front of the library. A hopeful suitor in a gray sports coat hovers nearby, and on the desk is a small nameplate that reads Marion Peru. Now, if you boys would like to kind of try to figure out what you can find going through these periodicals, what you're going to want to do is give me a library use roll. If there's something else you'd like to do while you're here, by all means, feel free to do so.
Well,
I would love to do that for you.
John,
How
make
do you
sure
do that
his
roll?
make sure his boots don't squeak, making no noise through the library.
You want to give me a stealth roll for that?
Yeah, how do I
Okay.
do that?
We get our first roll of the night. Here we go. In case you've forgotten, the way Call of Cthulhu works is you roll a percentile dice, and as long as you get below the rank you have or equal to, you get a regular success. If you get a half of your skill, so if I have 60 ranks in stealth, if I roll a 59, congratulations, you just made a basic success. But if you roll half of your 60, so if you roll 30 or below, you've now made a hard success, which may come up at some point in this game. If you roll 1/5, so something below a 12 if you have 60 ranks, then you've made an extreme success. And if you roll a 1, that is a critical success. If you roll 100, that is a critical failure. In fact, sometimes it's like 96, 100. We'll start off nice. We'll keep it at 100 as a critical failure.
So what are you
Okay,
asking us to roll for finding information in the library?
Well, roll first is so I finally got the stealth roll work, and I got a 17, which is beats a hard.
Yeah, so not a single sound comes from your feet as you walk. In fact, you are being so just naturally not there that people are accidentally kind of bumping into you a little bit because they don't realize that you're there. It's not that you're trying to hide, it's just that you are so naturally good at concealing your presence that people aren't noticing you as you walk about the library.
And then to find the articles you wanted us to roll.
A library use roll.
Library use roll.
So whenever you do library use rolls, it's going to take, each time you roll a library use is representing 4 hours of your life.
Oh, gee.
Now, unfortunately, John, I see that you rolled a 98, which in some cases would have been a critical failure, but we're going to be nice and just say that this was a regular failure. You're being so stealthy and you're really enjoying it that you're kind of not focusing on actually looking through the library, through the periodicals.
Do I find a book?
You're pretty sure that the book you picked up and are trying to peruse is written in some strange foreign language, but it's really just English. It's just upside down.
Oof.
Can you add? I see how to roll the dice, but how do you roll a library use if it's not on your little toolbar down
You
there?
have to click on the name.
Yeah. So you have an in-astral character sheet, and it's got like little hot links. If you click on the skill, it rolls the skill.
Under edit character?
Now you'll also notice as you're doing these rolls, at the bottom of each one, there's a delayed roll button. This is if there's a situation that is giving you an advantage or disadvantage to your skill check. Then you can click on that, and it will. Let's see. Go ahead and one of y'all click on it. I'm not sure how it's going to look for the roll.
What am I clicking on? Sorry.
Okay, so it actually just like gives you an extra whole roll. We'll work with that. What it's supposed to be is you roll just the tens, and you get to replace the 10. So if I was rolling with an advantage, I'd roll 3 dice. 2 that are regular and 1 is your bonus. So let's say I get a 66. But then my second dice, it says 50. well, you get to use the 50 and combine it with the 6. So you got a 56 instead of a 66. Is how that would work.
All right, so I'm clicking on library use, and it says click to send to chat. I click on that.
Aha.
Hey, there it goes.
So close.
I
So
want to use
close.
the 20 earlier.
All 4 of y'all have spent half the day here, but you're just not finding anything yet. Y'all did come here first thing in the morning, so this is probably going to be around lunchtime right now. You can continue trying to find information if y'all want to do another library use roll.
Kind of. My patience is wearing thin for this.
Has anyone asked the librarian for help?
Oh. Yes.
So
Where is the periodical section?
okay, so
There we go.
let's see, Zach, what is your better skill? Apparel, which is APP, or your credit?
Credit.
Okay, go ahead and give me a credit skill roll. And this is just you roll the D100, and if it's less than your credit, you pass.
Yay.
Okay, so you walk up to Miss Marion, and she is still being talked to by this suitor at the desk. And
Still? It's
yeah,
been
still.
4 hours, man.
he is quite hopeful and quite persistent.
Yeah.
So she
Can't
keeps
judge.
trying to talk to you, but he's kind of getting in the way.
I kind of.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question for the lady.
No. I'm trying to research here. Can you buzz off?
So
That's probably not right lingo, but whatever.
the young man he looks at you and he says, "Oh, my apologies there, sir. The name's Hill, Professor Hill.
Hey,
I'm just
Hill.
talking to Miss Peru here about the tragic state of the students here in the Fort Worth area. Why, it wasn't that long ago that this entire area was held in the terrible grasp of Hell's Half-Acre. I'm sure you remember all those poor children that went missing at the turn of the century. If we had had an after-school program here at the library, well, maybe we could have saved some lives. Well, why won't you think of the children? Sign my petition to let the program to meet here at the library. I just want to help the children. And Miss Peru, she's just, bless her heart, she's not letting me do this."
It is gone.
Yeah, whatever. If it makes you get along.
Look at her right in the face and say, do you have the authority to agree to something like that? Leave the poor lady alone.
So you're going to go ahead and sign his position, or
I'll sign
petition?
the petition with whatever name pops into my head first.
Okay. So Zach, having engaged him and is signing his petition, Zach, go ahead and roll me a d4.
Alrighty. 2.
2. Zach, for the next 2 hours, Mr. Hill is going to be explaining to you all the important matters about why he thinks a big brass band should meet here at the library every day after school for an after-school program. Now, the good news is Miss Peru is suddenly available to help anyone else who needs assistance.
Then I will step up.
Taking one for the team. Signed your stupid petition. Leave me alone.
Now that I've got what I want out of you, let me explain to why I'm right.
Why does my token seem much larger? Well, it's not that much larger, but
I think it's because it's got a different image.
Yeah.
So I will talk with Miss Librarian about what does she know about the strange happenings at the house and the person that we were sent here to investigate, sent hereby to investigate the
Okay.
house.
So Daniel, go ahead and give me another library use roll. But this time you're going to get to do it with an advantage.
Can I do like persuasion? Or we need a spot hidden?
In fact, you know what? Or you don't get to do it with advantage. Just give me a D100 real quick.
Okay.
Okay, very good. So, let's see. Based on that, you find... is anyone else taking this time to do library use? Or, Zach, you can give me a library use roll, but you're going to have to get a hard use to find something in the same time frame that they can, simply because you kind of lost some time there because of Professor
Right.
Hill.
Right.
I'll do another
Boom.
check.
Oh, so close there, John. So close.
I
got a
found more
5.
books.
Oh,
he
so
just says to
Zach's
himself.
got his hard success.
Yeah,
You sure
almost-
did. So,
Almost got extreme.
let me go ahead and give some handouts because y'all have found out some information. Let's see. Y'all have found out this handout that the Weber house sold. And as you want, as I share these, if you want to pull them up, you can read the article and see what's going on there.
Okay.
Go
It does
to
zoom in.
What handouts and go to? I see 3, 4, and 5 now.
Yes, so
Oh.
that's the ones that have just become available.
See,
I'm
you
pulling
say
up
I
three. Oh my
can read the article, but I'm going to challenge you on that point.
Okay, so I
Oh
want this
gosh.
to go away. Shoo. There we go.
Yeah, I see
if you
the.
double click
Weber
on it,
household. Hey, I can read that.
let's see. We're not
want
opening
me
a
to
new
read it?
window.
Do I need it? No. There we go.
There we go.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Andrew Weber sold his fine house on Houston Street, Fort Worth, Texas, to Walker Corbitt, Esquire, after falling ill. Mr. Weber did not think he would be able to keep the house properly cared for with his declining health. It is a thought, a shame that Mr. Weber will not be able to live in the house he completed only this past spring, but it is hoped that Mr. Corbitt will be a fine addition to the neighborhood. Friends and family of Mr. Weber send their well wishes and prayers for speedy recovery. Mr. Weber currently plans to return to Dallas, a better city, where he can be nearby relatives. Prior to purchasing the house on Houston Street, Mr. Corbitt was a resident of Boston, Massachusetts. So he put all of his wealth and sanity into building this haunted Cthulhu house, and then sold it to Mr. Corbitt, and then promptly died.
And that was on December the 18th, 1835. So the current year, by the way, you are in August the 1st, 1923.
It was 1825 it was sold?
1835.
Okay, so over 80 years ago.
And if someone wants to read handout 4 there.
A lawsuit was levied in court yesterday against Walter Corbitt. Neighbors of Mr. Corbitt are petitioning to force him to leave the area in consequence of his spurious habits and inauspicious demeanor. Okay.
That's
The
what I
things you-
thought when I read
The
it.
things you could sue people for in the past. Mr. Corbitt had no statement to make in response to the lawsuit. He has lived at 1500 Houston Street, Fort Worth, Texas, since the home was built 20 years ago. So, creepy Cthulhu house was built, promptly sold to Mr. Corbitt, where creepy stuff started happening for the next 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Or at least
And
he was not a good neighbor. For...
lawsuit opening handout 5.
Zoom and enhance. Another lawsuit has been issued against local lawyer Walter Corbitt, this time after his death. 11 years ago, residents fought to have Mr. Corbitt forcibly removed from his home, and today they are fighting to keep his home at 1500 Houston Street, Fort Worth, Texas, from being the final resting place of his earthly remains. Until the lawsuit is settled, Mr. Corbitt's remains will reside at... Dun dun dun. Where's page 3?
Not available.
1866. John Swindle's publisher. Nice. All right. Well, got some crappy record keeping here.
Honestly, I'd say it's pretty good record keeping for the time.
I guess we are talking about a 40-year-old newspaper.
Yeah, go find a 40-year-old newspaper with access to the internet right now.
So, a side note, all those were real newspapers, actually. I grabbed them off the Dallas Herald.
Oh, cool.
And those are actually real newspapers from those dates. I may have fudged the date a little bit on one of them, but it was approximately those dates. So I did, Daniel.
Did you add the text of
Well,
what's the
no, those weren't 40-year-old newspapers. Those were...
No, those are actual newspapers about Cthulhu House.
Yeah, I swapped out the text.
I'm about to argue, though, Matt. The only text readable on those images is the text you put there. So how useful is it?
You can zoom in.
I'm pulling one up right now to verify.
Yeah, when you
that.
zoom in, they're readable.
Yeah, you just have to zoom way in.
Oh, okay.
It helps if you pop it out and like make it full screen.
Yeah,
I'm doing.
that's what I did. That's
Yeah.
all I had to do. I had
Okay, some of it is readable. Okay, I'll
Oh yes, on note 3, I see the date was changed.
Yes. That one
Judging
was
by
the
the
picture.
pixels, it looks like a Photoshop.
So what do you think, fellas? Should we spend some more time here trying to find the results, the outcome of these lawsuits, or move on to investigate something else?
I don't know. I mean, we've spent all day at the library.
Only half a day, right?
No,
No,
we did.
this was the second half day that y'all spent. So
Oh,
this
Why did I
is
roll?
coming up to be in the 5 o'clock hour.
did I ever? What was my percentile 53 for?
Wasn't that your second roll?
I rolled my first library use and got a 29. And then you asked me to roll a percentile, and I rolled a 53. And then Zach rolled his critical success, and we never came back to why I rolled a 53.
That's right. We did kind of trail off on that one. Sorry.
I think I was just asking you for a library use roll.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
my
that was
53
that was Miss Peru. That was her library use. So between Miss Peru and Zach, y'all are able to find all these documents.
Oh, okay. That was her library use check.
Yes, which was admittedly much higher than yours.
The
that
librarian
bad?
has good library use.
I know I'm taking advantage of the situation, but I thought it made sense for her character.
Isn't a high check bad, though?
No, the high skill is good because you're trying to roll under your skill.
Okay.
I'm looking up the value of $1 in 1923 compared to today, because we're getting paid $25.
Oh,
That's a good point.
you know what? I realized there were a couple things I should have done on these last rolls. We're going to talk about them real quick here. First of all, Mr. Palmieri, go
Mhm.
ahead and on your character sheet, you will see that there is a check mark box next to each skill. Go ahead and
Yes.
check mark the box next to library use. Should your character live and not go insane, you will have a chance to improve your library use at the end of the game. For John and Eric,
Uh-huh.
I apologize. I should have told you, Mr. with a K, that you can spend luck points to bring a failed roll into a successful roll. So when you rolled a library use of 29, you could have burned 9 points of luck to bring that to be a successful library use. The other thing you could have done is what's called pushing the roll. And that's where you just roll again, and you try to justify some reason why, maybe the first time you were falling asleep, you went, splashed some water in your face, and now you're really going at it. However, with a pushed roll, you cannot use luck to make it a success, and there will be consequences if you fail.
Okay. I would not have used luck. or push something with that low chance of success.
Yeah, well, good call.
Good to know
It worked
the
out in the
options.
end.
Oh, all right, so we spent the whole day here. Why don't we go find a place to stay? But I'm actually from here, so I'm just going to go home.
Yeah, I'm from over in Dallas, but I got the car.
What the heck of a drive now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, John, what's your plans for the evening?
John is not from this area, but I'm gonna assume that he's renting a room, somewhere, like either a hotel room or something.
Okay.
He's gonna find a cigar shop.
All right. Tell you what, John. Go ahead and give me a luck roll.
Where is that? Is it just under the other skills? Luck, language,
If it's not, you can just roll a d100 and then tell me if that's below your current luck.
Where do you?
It's in the top third on the far left, under hit points.
Oh, I see it. Thank you.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
now-
you're able to find a cigar shop fairly easily.
Because John's being paid, I guess, pretty well.
Yes.
I don't know what the cost of cigars would be, but
So one of the things about Call of Cthulhu is, as long as you aren't being extravagant with your expenses, you're typically given. You typically have about $10 spending cash, and it's not something we really keep track of. The only time that purchasing is going to become an issue is if you're trying to buy something really expensive.
So I don't, because I don't know what kind of DM you are. John would be the type to keep certain kind of supplies with him wherever he goes.
Yeah,
But
so on the second
you can-
page, there's an area that says gear and possessions. If you want to just write down
That
between,
stuff.
between sessions what sort of gear you'd have,
Yeah.
we can do that.
Okay. Well, let me add a text. There it goes. All right, I'll work on that.
Awesome. I guess, was there anything specific you wanted at the cigar shop beyond cigars?
Nope.
All right.
Well, maybe more matches, but usually, at least at that time, they would give you some when you bought enough.
Okay. And then, do y'all have plans to meet up at a location in the morning? And is anyone going to be updating Detective Hook?
Job's not done yet, so why would we need to update him?
We can check back in, say we scraped the library, found some leads.
Didn't he say he was keeping our daily allowance until, or for now, or something like that?
No, he just asked y'all to give him daily updates that he can pass along to Mr. Knott.
Oh.
Okay, well, then I would think it'd be reasonable to meet at his office in the morning.
Very well.
Yes, and if he asks for a daily update, I will give him like the
Cliff's Notes.
bare minimum cliff notes. We found some newspaper articles about the house and a Mr. Corbitt. Wait, who's
Okay.
the guy who hired us?
What was that?
Who's the guy who hired us?
So the person who hired you technically was Detective Hook. But he did so under the request of Mr. Knott, who is the landlord for the property in question.
Okay. So we found some newspaper articles about the home's previous owner, Mr. Corbitt. And that's pretty much all I'll tell him.
Okay, so tell you what, everyone give me a luck roll coming back to his, meeting up at his office in the morning.
Which means we did not plan something out well enough.
Oof.
Wait, luck.
That's an oof.
I beat my hard.
Okay, so
Woo!
so let's see. Zach, or excuse me, Carlo. Carlo, you arrive first, and as agreed, Detective Hook is paying you not only your portion, the 25 a day, but also his portion, as you recall. However, both Jack and Eric, y'all walk in just in time to see this exchange happening.
Welp.
So, wait, run that by me again?
Both, hey, Wes, do you want your character referred to as Jack or John?
Let's stick with John.
Okay.
Only friends.
Yeah.
Only friends call him Jack.
So John and Eric, you arrive at right about the same time, and both of you arrive just in time to see Carlo getting a double portion of the daily stipend.
From who?
From Detective Hook.
Oh, okay. Carlo, how come you're getting more money?
I'm working 2 cases. Kind of give a look at Detective Hall.
Checks out.
I don't
And
buy
John,
that.
if you recall from your backstory, you already know what's going on.
I do.
You do?
John does.
John does. Wes doesn't. Now I'll have to send a private chat to remind me.
Yeah. do 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 do.
So internally, I no longer trust Carlos. Or Carlo.
Yes. Now, the real question is, do I remember what's going on here? Pretty sure.
There you go, Wes. I sent it to you over Skype. And if y'all look through your character questions, it might remind you some of what's going on.
Yes, that is what I'm pulling up for like the 3rd time because I keep closing it.
My character questions reveal nothing important.
I mean, I knew basically what's going on. I just don't remember the details. Right.
So $10 back in 1923 would equivocate to about 145 today.
Checks out.
About, that's my
Yeah.
rough.
Yes. So, the lot of you are being paid $25 a day. So,
Which today's money is roughly $45 an hour. To put that in perspective.
That'd be about $362 a day.
However,
sounds right.
everyone else seems to be reacting to this. I will kind of just mirror their reactions.
Which that's a lot of money for going to the library. So far,
But if you had a job that paid you a salary, that would not be a good day's wage.
It's not a bad day's wage.
I mean, if your job is a private investigator and you charge $100 a day.
Fair.
Okay. So what do you think, guys? Is it time to go back to the library? Is it time to go to... Well, yesterday we were deciding between the house and the press. What was the press option?
There might be. You explain that.
So Detective Hook suggested that you might be able to find some other periodicals over in the Fort Worth Star Telegram, which is, just a couple blocks away, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, they might be able to fill in the blanks from the library.
So I feel like if we looked harder at the library, we might find another handout. Possibly a handout number 2. But
well, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that the actual press archives might have the missing bits. I would hope their archives would be pretty good, but wait a second. We're looking up the Dallas Observer?
The Dallas Herald.
Dallas Herald.
In Fort Worth?
In Fort Worth, so maybe we should go back to the library.
Well, I mean, the library is going to hold more periodicals than just...
Yeah. But I'm saying the Fort Worth newspaper might not have the archives for the Dallas Herald.
But they might have the Fort Worth newspaper covering up the same information.
It's true.
Like the Fort Worth Star Telegram. It's the only Fort Worth newspaper I can think of.
Yeah, I guess it's worth a shot, because by my reasoning, then the other option would be to drive over to Dallas.
Drive to Dallas to find out some information about Fort Worth.
Efficiency.
Okay, so we do that.
Yeah, let's go to the Star. Or whatever.
And I wish to somehow use persuasion to get people to tell me any information we need to know.
That's what I call my revolver.
No, it's what I call the only social skill I have that's decently statted.
All right. You come up to a squat square building made out of lightly colored bricks on the corner of Taylor and 7th in the heart of downtown Fort Worth. Even before you enter the building, you can hear the busy sounds of editors yelling and typewriters furiously clicking away, drifting down along with the smell of cheap cigarettes from the many open windows that line the 5-story building. You enter and find a surprisingly small and plain lobby. There are a few framed newspapers showcasing some of the more popular headlines they've had over the years, a handful of wooden chairs, a potted plant about your height with long, thin leaves, and a receptionist sitting at a wooden desk behind her. Behind her on the wall, in large, proud letters, you read, Fort Worth Star Telegram, where the West begins. Immediately next to you as you enter is a newspaper dispenser, and next to the coin slot on the dispenser in large red letters are the words 5 cents.
Excuse me, ma'am. Where can we find some information about the old Corbitt house?
Let's see if remarks. Well, if you want to come peruse past issues, the person you're going to want to talk to is Artie. He's in charge of the morgue. I don't suppose you haven't.
Is that what you call where you store old issues, back issues of your publication?
That's exactly right. You are one smart cookie, aren't you?
Well, I am a chocolate chip.
Gotta love them context clues.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit out of it, so I'll try to keep along.
You mind showing me the way, or should I just wander around the building?
I'll show you the way. In fact, you know what, Daniel? Give me a charm roll.
Let's see, where is charm? Charm is right there above climb. There you are.
Oof.
Nope.
All right.
She somehow becomes offended.
She's friendly enough to you, but she's not going to be doing you any favors here. She says, I guess, what did y'all tell her you were looking for?
Information on the old Corbitt house.
Okay, so she leads you back to a editor's desk. He is a short man, balding, and seems extremely temperamental. As she leaves you in his care and gives a quick, low whisper of good luck as she leaves. And she lets you know that this man, his name is Artie Wilmot, the editor, or one of the editors of Fort Worth Star-Telegram, and the man in charge of access to the morgue, which is, yes, as Mr. Withake correctly pointed out, is where they keep the old periodicals.
And when you give me the breakdown, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, try to charm him.
Yeah. So as she leaves, Artie looks up at you and says, "What are you boys here for?"
So when we were giving the break, when Detective Hook was giving us the breakdown of the house, what did he refer to the house as?
The Corbitt house.
Okay, so it is commonly known as the Corbitt house.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll just tell him we're looking for information on the Corbitt house.
He gives you a blank stare. Corbitt house? What is that? What do you need here?
We're looking for issues. Gosh, I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. Within the past 20 years, about a property at whatever address, which I'm pretty sure was in our
Look,
what
kid,
we found
you
before.
seem like a nice kid, but if you wanted to come and peruse past issues, you should have set up an appointment. I don't have time to hold every Tom, Dick, and Harry's hand that comes in off the street looking for a handout. The Star-Telegram is the premier paper of Texas. We delivered our newspaper as far as the Panhandle. Why, when I first started here, I personally rode the stagecoach 3 times a week to deliver the news in the dead of night. More than once I had to personally fight off bandits, and on the trip back, thinking they could steal our profits. If you want to look at the Star's past papers without an appointment, I suggest you try the library or your mom's attic.
John pulls out a survival knife and starts scraping it on his skin.
Whoa. Okay.
Like not like cutting himself, just like, you know, like
your own.
You know, like you can kind of like cut the hairs off your forearm.
on the other guy's skin.
And he comes right up to him. How tall is this man?
He is a shorter man.
So John will have to kneel, kind of, you know, bend down over. You seem like an American patriot, just like I am. Why don't you help me do this one favor?
Okay, give me an intimidate. Give me an intimidate.
Where the hell did my character sheet go? I've got like 6 tabs open right now. Intimidate. It's not as high as I thought it would be. Did it roll?
It did. Okay, so that was a fail.
God.
You can either spend the, what is that, 33 points of luck, or you can try to push this roll and see if you don't.
I'll do the luck.
Okay.
If I might interject for a second, how does one get luck back?
You don't.
Matt accepts PayPal.
yeah, I accept PayPal. I technically think you do not get luck back. I will certainly look that up, but as I recall, everywhere I've seen, luck is one of these things where you spend it and that's it. There may be some fringe cases where you might be able to get luck back. Wrong window, sorry.
Find someone building mirrors.
So
And help out.
do I just lose points of luck?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think mechanically it'd probably be better if it was like a couple of points you needed. Not sure you want to burn your whole thing.
Wait, how much luck? Wait, how much luck do I have, and how much do I need to spend?
So I have 60 points, and Matt is asking you for 33 points.
Tell you what is your build size?
I know it was big, but where was this character sheet is so foreign to me because I'm used to D&D and other ones like that.
Yeah.
Oh, build is in the bottom right corner. I just found it. My build is 1, whatever that means.
Bottom right
plus
corner.
2.
Build 1. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
bigger than both of you.
What's that, Daniel?
Got them farmer muscles.
Mine's plus 2.
How am I? Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be big. I thought it was supposed to be bigger than that.
It's based on it's a calculated value based on something or other.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What's your size? Under characteristics in the top middle.
Oh yeah, I think that.
Yeah, my size is 85.
Oh, that's pretty small. Mine's 110.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay.
So just to make sure,
Content.
Wes, your size was 85. What's your
Yeah.
strength?
75.
Okay, yeah, you are right at the upper end of a +1 build. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah,
Alright,
165 is when you become a +2.
Okay. So you just tried the intimidation thing. Are you gonna use the luck points or not?
I still am looking for how many luck points I have.
On the character sheet where you in Astrolabs, it's right underneath the words Call of Cthulhu on the far left of the screen.
Oh, so I've got 50. And he wants 33? Okay, no. Then I'll push then.
Uh-oh. Okay. Let's see how that goes.
Push it.
Okay, so understand, when you push a roll, you cannot burn luck at that point.
I cannot earn luck ever or
Just for that
the
one roll.
re-rolls.
on the reroll.
Yeah.
But also, if you fail, there will be consequences, like him calling security and throwing us out.
Well, so this was just a normal fail. With a normal fail, very rarely do you get a bad consequence, per se. You know, I'm going to take that back immediately. I'm suddenly thought of like 15 different things where if you have a normal fail in this game, something's going to happen to you that's kind of bad.
Something bad won't always happen on a normal roll, but if you push it, and fail again, something bad will happen.
Yes.
So
You're making me double think about this.
With a chance to success of 45, I would say don't. That is my advice. Well, 45 is pretty high. Yeah, no, I would not. But I tend towards being cautious.
Yeah. Okay, not Jim. John backs up a little bit. He gives the man a little bit more space.
Okay, so you do your knife thing. I'm an American patriot. We're both patriots. Artie just rolls his eyes. Yeah, you're a real patriot, son. I'm real proud of your service. Come on, you always gonna waste my day my whole day or what?
Plan to till you help us.
Matt, question.
I was trying to think of a way to say that too that wouldn't get us thrown out.
Yes, Wes.
You know my character's background story.
Yes.
Would I be able to? Would I have on me something that would prove of my character's background? A medal or something.
You might, but Artie's not going to care.
Okay.
He's that kind of guy. Now, Zach, how about you give me a fast talk if you're going to come back.
Right. All right, I can do that. Where did it go? There it is. Oh, come on. I've been rolling a lot of extremes.
Okay, Zach, are you gonna push that roll or
Oh yeah, I'm gonna push it.
or burn the 20?
Nah, I'll push it.
Okay.
What?
Oh,
What?
no.
Hold on a second. What? What? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so
Huh.
Zach,
Well, I guess I put my foot in my mouth.
wow. Okay, so you know what? Let me get this pinned up so people can see what we're rolling.
1, 2, 3, 4. Extremely horrible rolls. What's going on with the roll 20? That's not realistic rolls at all.
Yeah, I'm a call shenanigans on the RNG here.
That was kind of. I mean, that's the beauty of random, though.
Yeah, but
That's not true. That's not true random.
By the
96,
definition of
96,
random, you could roll a
86.
d20 100 times and get 20 every time.
yeah,
Roll 1.
that's the problem with true random is you can't say it's not random.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that's embarrassing. I was psyched too because I like my fast talk's one of my better skills.
So as you're trying to kind of pull this, well, we're going to waste your whole day nonsense, Artie just gets beat red in the face. He's just furious with you. He's like, you boys, you have no respect for this fine institution. You get out of here right now. And he calls over a couple of muscular maintenance workers who are going to be escorting you out.
Kind of want to escalate, but
What
the
does
dice are
my
telling me
character
no.
know about
Yeah, but before they come, before they actually come into the room and shove us out, John's gonna look at his two comrades. Should we make this quiet or loud?
Before I answer that, Matt, what does my character know about the union status of the employees at the Fort Worth Star Telegram?
Ooh, give me a intelligence.
Oh, good lord. Okay, intelligence. Click here.
That is your intelligence.
That is my intelligence. How do I roll that?
You click
Wait a minute,
the actual
there?
letters. A.
There we go.
You can't fail if your intelligence is 105. I may have had you set up your character sheet wrong. I'm suddenly recalling that there might be a theoretical maximum to any skill.
This guy's head is so big.
I know everything.
My intelligence is over 9,000.
It's at least over 100, but it overflows after that, so it's all the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. We're gonna have to tweak that just a little bit there. However, 68 would still have passed whatever theoretical maximum it is. I think that 90 is supposed to be the theoretical maximum. 105. How did we get to a 105?
That is why I don't really like the Call of Cthulhu character sheets, because just looking at it, with a 5e character sheet, I can look at it and know exactly how you got to all those numbers. But
Yeah.
with these, nope. You got points you can put in random places, and
It was 3d6. No, intelligence 2d6 plus 6 times 5. Even at 18, it's what, 85?
didn't I put
90. Yeah, so the maximum should have been 90. And then I gave you one more d10. So you shouldn't have been able to get anything above 100 on that.
Unless you accidentally sunk some skill points into it or something.
Well, actually, Matt, I'm looking at what my character sheet versus the one that's on Astrolabs, and my... Oh, okay. Things are in different places. Never mind. And education are switched. And power. Oh, okay. The skills are in different... The numbers are in the right place, but the skills are just moved around on different character sheets.
Okay, that That would make more sense.
No, it's on my character sheet, the intelligence is still 105, like it is on the one in Astrolabs. But I thought I saved a document of how I got to those numbers. Anyway, it's not relevant right now.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking that I'm talking a big game, but I don't want to start a fight over a newspaper.
So, Mr. Withake, yes, your character is aware of the union situation here, and in fact, he knows someone who is sympathetic toward the union, who works down in the down in the area where they distribute the newspaper, the Newsies. I'm not sure what you'd call that area, but that's where he knows him.
Do I know whether or not the employees at the newspaper are unionized?
They're not unionized, but there are sympathizers. So,
Trying to figure out how to use this information.
so while you're figuring this out, the two men have come to escort you out. Are you going to be politely escorted out by them or not?
I don't know if I'd go so far to say politely, but I guess I'll go with them.
I will go with them, but I will give the former union secret handshake.
So if you want to meet up with the guy you know, once you are escorted out, you can head around to the back. It's kind of a back door where all the newspapers are handed out to the delivery guys, and you can meet up with them back there.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay, so you come to, or I guess, is John leading with everyone?
I'll follow my companions.
Okay, so
my coworkers.
Co-conspirators.
So yeah, once the three of you are escorted out,
I didn't mean to roll that sanity or click the sanity.
The secretary kind of gives you a sympathetic look when she sees the three of you being escorted out. Like, yeah, you guys aren't the first one to be escorted out in this situation.
And I'll be right back. Give me 1 sec, but my character follows along.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, so you are escorted to the back, and you meet up with your... You go into the back, and you see the union guy, or the union sympathizer that you know, Eric, whose name is, let's say, Thomas. So Thomas sees you and he kind of glances around furtively. He's like, Eric, what are you doing here?
We're trying to get access to the morgue, but we can't get past...
Did we even catch his name?
That
Yeah,
beat
Artie.
of a man, Artie.
Yeah.
That short red beat of a man, Artie.
Yeah, Thomas gives you a knowing nod. Oh, yeah, Artie, he's a real hard nose. If he could, I think he'd marry the telegram. What do you need down there?
We're looking for information on the old Corbitt house.
Corbitt House, huh? Tell you what, you give me an address and maybe a little something to make it worth my while, and I can sneak in there at night and get you some documents.
I will give him the address, which Eric knows, and a bribe appropriate for the time period.
Okay, in order to see if you can bribe him successfully, you're going to have to give me a credit rating.
Well, I'm going to be using some of the money that we're getting paid per day on this job. I'm going to pull just this wad of cash and go, how much is an appropriate bribe for this?
All right, sorry, I'm back.
Okay, so give me a credit rating with an advantage.
Credit rating with an advantage.
Okay,
For
I
Dan.
don't know how to roll an advantage.
And if someone else wants to maybe be the one offering the money.
Oh, you're poor.
Who's poor?
And my advantage. Oh, okay, yeah. Apparently, I don't have the money for a bribe, even though I'm getting paid $25 a day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I try?
it's clear you're using it for your rent and other activities.
Even though I got
try?
it this morning. I literally have a wad of cash in my pocket.
Yeah, if there's someone else who wanted to try to make this who, as soon as they heard the word bribe, or worth my while, worth my while.
Fine.
I said, oh my gosh. This system does not like us tonight.
Zach, do you have real dice you can use?
Not handy, but I've been using the Wizard's dice roller. It works pretty well.
Can John and Carlo have advantage since I had advantage?
Yeah, Carlo, give me an advantage. That is, I don't know. I'm starting to doubt some RNG here.
Yeah. 32.
Okay. So yeah, he sees the cash, the wad. You pull it out, and you start flipping. And he's like, "Oh yeah." Like he doesn't even try to barter with you. He's not the brightest guy, Thomas. So I can get it. So he pockets it. And he promises that if you guys can come back at night tonight, he'll have whatever he can find there for you.
Well, how long has this diversion taken?
We'll say that from the time you met at Detective Hook's office to getting to the telegram to, maybe waited a little while in the lobby and then had this whole conversation with Thomas, you spent maybe 2 hours. And this was a pretty quick thing. Y'all got kicked out pretty quick.
You're welcome.
My shoes do not taste good. Well, I reckon we could hit up the library. Might as well. It's still pretty early in the day. Then maybe we go poke around the house a little bit just for grins.
Fine. Let's go.
All right, so you go into the library, and
All right.
you see.
I figured out what happened.
What's that?
So Matt, you know how for strength, con, dex, appearance, and power, you rolled 3 6-sided dice? And for size, intelligence, and education, you rolled 2?
Yes. Plus
Imagine
6.
if you rolled 3.
That would explain where you're getting your extra numbers from, yeah.
Whoops. Okay, sorry, continue.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to rethink some character stuff.
So he's not a complete genius?
Clearly not.
Are we talking about Daniel or his character?
Both.
Yeah, so you go back up to the library, and you see poor Miss Peru just sitting there with an exasperated expression, and you
Is the same
hear
dude back?
in the background just the worst brass band you've ever heard.
That escalated quickly.
And
I'm going to give her a sympathetic look and walk over to her and say, "It seems awfully loud in here for a library."
she just kind of scowls at you, and especially at Carlo. She is not feeling any sort of willingness to help you out today.
I didn't expect him to get a band together the next day. I was just trying to shut him up.
Okay, so if you guys are going to hang out here, go ahead and give me some library use rolls.
How old is Miss Librarian?
She is in her 30s.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to.
I'm going to spend my day trying to pick her up.
Okay. So for anyone who's trying to find stuff, give me library use, and for everyone else, give me a, or for Eric, give me a charm.
Oh, dear Lord, may as well have been a library use.
I rolled an 18.
Okay.
I forgot to use an external roller, but I will accept it.
Holy
Wow!
crap.
You actually succeeded.
Whoa.
Now, hold on a second. Let me do something real quick. I think this is the appropriate way to do it. Okay. Yeah. So she is very interested in you.
That 97 is her resistance to my charms.
No, that 97 was Professor Hill. He's also trying to kind of charm her, and he is doing a horrible job. I mean, the brass band isn't doing him any favors. So it was a opposed charm roll in this case that he was trying to outdo your charms. So let's see. Carlo, you actually succeeded, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, you
I
did. Just barely, but it is enough.
You know, I will take it.
Do I find any books?
You know, you're doing a better job today. You kind of worked out the which way to hold it upright, but you're in the kids section, really enjoying some of the young adult content there.
What does 1920s young adult novels look like?
What I don't get is why is my library use so low, but my intelligence is high?
Well,
Although
y'all,
my edu-
y'all
my
all had the
education, I guess,
choice
is
of where to
about
spend your skill points.
I didn't think
no.
library would be so important.
Yes, I kind of expected this be walk into the house and try not to die.
Oh, how we learn. Yeah, when I saw all of your character sheets, I'm
Tomorrow
like,
I
oh
plan on
no,
walking
none
into
of
the
them are
house and trying
investing in
not to
library
die.
use.
Well, we could do that today, because we've been, we've
Did you
spent
not-
about 6 hours of the
Did
day.
you not see my roll, Carlo? I have plans tonight.
Okay,
That's just a
so
regular success. Come on now.
Carlo, go ahead and open up. I just shared a handout 2 with you.
All right. There it is. Not in numerical order. Awesome. Let's see.
Rejected article.
This is completely unprintable.
Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. That shouldn't be the one I handed to you. Ignore that one
Too
for
late.
now.
I'm already looking at it.
You'll get that one from your contact tonight.
Oh, okay.
You should have gotten this one, because it doesn't make much sense for a library to have a rejected article.
Hey, does it take a while for these PDFs to load for everybody else?
Yep.
Yeah.
I noticed Matt opened it up like immediately. I was wondering if something wrong with my system.
I think he might have it loaded up off screen.
I don't, which is why this one's taking forever for some reason.
This hasn't loaded for me.
You know what? I think I had problems with this one article for some reason. I will pull it up, because I made a local copy. Let's see.
Yeah, mine loaded up a white page.
Yep.
It appears to be done loading.
I've been mind flayed.
Mind flayed?
Yeah, well, I can't remember what I read. It's just a white page.
Okay, there.
Oh, dear.
And
It's
I'll
now
go ahead and read
79
it
degrees.
for y'all. So the article says, Bloody Man is committed. Residents of the Hell's Half Acre were startled when a man covered with blood rushed out of his home and down Houston Street, Monday, October the 6th, screaming obscenities and babbling about burning eyes. Police have identified the man as David Hall, a resident of 1500 Houston Street, who has had a serious accident in his home. It is uncertain what exactly happened to Mr. Hall, but police speculate he fell down a flight of stairs or perhaps even off his roof, sustaining heavy, though not life-threatening injuries. According to witnesses, Hall reportedly ran down the street, screaming after his initial accident, swinging his fists at anyone who he passed by or drew near to assist the bloody Hall. Witnesses claim he also tried to bite several people. However, things took a much more serious turn than an urban brawl when Mr. Hall ran into a nearby butchery shop and re-emerged with a large knife. Thankfully, police arrived at this time and quickly subdued and arrested Mr. Hall. The police reported that at the time of their arrival, Mr. Hall was no longer speaking intelligible words, but seemed almost solely fixated on the knife. Mr. Hall was institutionalized Thursday at the North Texas Hospital for the Insane. No charges are presently being issued. Mr. Hall lived on Houston Street with his wife and 2 sons since September 1980.
So it's 1922 right now, right?
23.
23. So this was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
At some point,
Hall is our benefactor or the previous tenant?
The previous tenant.
Okay.
the one who... So we have it as the Comet House?
The Corbitt house?
Corbitt House. So it was the Corbitts, and then the Halls came into possession of it? Or do we not have that gap filled in yet?
Let's see. You do not have that gap filled in yet.
Okay, so we know that the Corbitts owned the house until they died, and we're not sure where they were buried. And then the Halls, then the Halls came screaming out of the house, bloody and insane.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has recently come in.
What year did the Corbitt die?
The year that Corbitt died.
It was like 1860 or something.
I thought it was like 1880.
Let's see.
That's why I was saying 40-year-old newspaper.
He died in 1866.
Okay.
I hope one of you guys are keeping notes.
Nope.
Not a chance.
Because John doesn't even know how to open books, apparently.
Eric doesn't write things down.
So these handouts will be
66, and then 60 years later, someone within the last name of Hall is coming screaming out of this house insane.
Yes.
Okay.
And then sometime between
House is haunted, burn it down.
sometime between 1918, or excuse me, he moved in 1918. This takes place. This took place in 1920, I believe.
What does the last line of that article say?
He's lived at Houston Street with his wife and 2 sons since September 1918.
Oh, so 18 is when he moved in.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. He was there for 2 years. He lasted much less time.
Yeah. So was there...
Whatever's there is getting stronger.
And then sometime between this article and August 1st, 1923, Mr. Knott has come into possession of it, but he can't get anyone to live in the house. There's too much superstition about it. So that's why he's trying to get you to clear it up, because he wants to rent the property out.
Seems like rightfully so at this point.
Hmm?
We know of 3 residents of this house, all of which who have died under mysterious and horrible circumstances.
Well, the first one got sick. It's not unreasonable to happen.
Actually, do we know how Mr. Corbitt died?
No. The guy before Corbitt.
The one who built the house?
He's the one that got sick, but how did Mr. Corbitt die?
No articles you've read had mentioned that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think it's been said. Just
Okay,
that he had lawsuits against him and that he did end up dying.
Okay, so far we know of 2 people who have lived in this house for close to 60 years and have died. So that's not really unusual. Especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
Lived to the ripe old age of 60.
Yeah.
He got to see his great-grandkids. Okay, so...
Well, I
would like to set up my date with Miss Librarian to take place after the drop with my newsy contact.
Okay.
And that's That's what I'm spending my time in the library doing.
Let's see.
And for anyone who's interested, I intend on trying to get information, like local information about this house out of this woman. See if it's common knowledge the house is haunted and no one wants to live there. I want to know what a local thinks about this house.
Yeah, I was going to suggest we go to the neighborhood and canvass a little bit to that same end.
Okay. So Miss Peru, she does not know really anything about the Corbitt house besides the fact that it is there's lots of superstitions around it. People seem to be afraid of it, but she kind of chalks it up to the fact that it's in the Hell's Half Acre, which until just a few years ago was under martial law, because literally it was like half an acre, and there are nightly muggings and murders going on in it. So she kind of just chalks it up to it was a bad neighborhood anyway, and now now the house has a lot of superstitious nonsense around it.
For over 100 years?
Well, the Hell's Half Acre was at its peak, like 5 years ago. That's when all the murders were really happening.
Okay, but the mysterious events around this house started happening in the 1820s.
Did they?
I thought you said the house was made in 1860.
Okay, so the order of events that you guys know so far.
Timeline here.
Yeah, so the order of events that you guys know so far is that in 1835, December 1835, Andrew Weber sold his house that he had just built to Mr. Corbitt.
Okay, so that's the year it was built.
Then went insane and died.
Then in 1860, or by 66 or 68, Corbitt died, and a lawsuit was being petitioned to prevent his earthly remains from being buried at his home.
My flashlight?
Then
one of them's in my tool bag.
in 1918, the Halls purchased the house, and by 1920, Mr. Hall had his accident and gone insane. And that's the timeline that you guys know about for the house so far.
Okay.
Okay, so I will mention that strange things have been happening in this house for well over 50 years. When she mentions that it's just chalk it up to the Hell's Half Acre last 5 years, and if she has nothing further to add on that, then I'll proceed with the date or the talking outside of work, whatever you call that in the 1920s, casually, and then part ways.
Okay.
I'll get her digits. I'll make sure our fathers know each other. Oh.
John is confused of why it's called the Cabot House when Weber built it.
Corbitt.
Or Corbitt.
That's just what people...
Corbitt.
Yeah, Corbitt was the name of the guy who bought it from Andrew Weber. And his name has just stuck with the house ever since.
John's going to call it the Weber House.
He didn't live there very long, though. The Corbitt guy lived there for way longer.
Yeah, but Weber built the house.
Okay.
Not like it matters, what the house is called, but John's going to call it the Weber House.
They go by the name of who made... Oh, sorry, Mike
built
there. They go by the name of the guy who made it infamous.
I don't agree. I'm calling it the Weber House.
Oh, man. So I assume, Daniel, that you meet up with your contact and get...
I guess, are y'all... So right now, it's only like... let's see. We said it was 10. So it's like 1, 2 in the afternoon. Are y'all guys just calling that it for the rest of the day, or...?
I'd be interested in actually checking out the house. Might as well.
Yeah.
Can
John
we take a
goes with.
5-minute break?
Yeah.
11 minutes later.
All right. So y'all decided that you were headed to the house or the neighborhood.
We were talking to Newsy.
No, I thought we were going to the house first and then going back to the Newsy at night.
As long as we make it to the Newsy at some point, I don't care. It just makes more sense to go to get as much information as we can before we go to the house.
Well, yeah, but John wants to see the house during the day.
Yeah, I don't want to check out it.
You two could go to the house while I'm on my date.
At nighttime.
Yes, but I would like the sun to be up. Don't want to check out no
what time did we go to the library? How much time did we spend in the library?
Y'all spent like 4 hours doing your research.
So at 2 o'clock? So first thing is we went to the telegram and got thrown out pretty early.
Yep.
But puts us around 8. We went to the library, spent 4 hours, so it puts us around 2.
No, y'all got to the. Excuse me. Y'all started your day at 8 at the detective's office. Spent 2 hours by the time you got kicked out of the Star Telegram, so it was about 10. So now you're right about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. Then yeah, we can go to the house. Then come back, do the date and the Newsy.
Alrighty.
Assuming we survive the trip to the house.
All right, so have the three of us agreed or not on the plan? Is go to the house first, and then we'll split up because one person has a date, the other person has to go talk to the newspaper.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing both of those things.
Oh, that was both of you. Oh, wow, you got 2 places you have to be.
He's a busy
Yeah,
man.
but I'm not going home with this woman. What do you think? What do you take me for?
You floozy?
The 20s equivalent of a guy who gets around.
Kinda lost your punch there.
I'm a respectable gentleman. Oh, my camera's off. You can't see my gestures.
All right, moving forward.
Good idea.
So, despite the attempts to clean up the Hell's Half-Acre, the area lags behind the rest of the city. Its streets, where not hard-packed dirt from years of use, are broken cobblestone. Most of the residents have long fled the area when it became synonymous with bars and brothels. But the older residents stuck it out, giving the area an eclectic smattering of homes wedged between businesses and the rubble of demolished buildings. Despite the fact that the Anti-Saloon League was ratified the 18th Amendment prohibiting alcohol, they are finding it difficult to enforce, and you can see the occasional bar operating brazenly in the area. Now, we're all heading straight to Corbitt's house. John wanted to go find some chocolate milk.
Milk.
I guess we can make a pit stop.
This is the 20s, and I don't think it's going to be pasteurized.
All right.
John has had worse than non-pasteurized milk. Much
Or should
worse.
be used to it. Which is the whole point of pasteurizing.
White Elephant Saloon. Perfect place for me to find my chocolate milk.
Yeah, so you ask around the area for some place where you could find some chocolate milk. Eventually, through kind of some incredulous stares and "Are you really asking for chocolate milk?" kind of expressions. You find yourself at the White Elephant Saloon.
On the third attempt, the first couple attempts, you find yourself being directed to a whorehouse.
But it was the sweetest little ones. So yeah, you go into the saloon and there's the bartender behind the bar. He is cleaning up the glasses. It's kind of a quiet period. We're still around 2 o'clock because just by natural happenstance, everything that you guys are working with literally in real life is kind of in the same area. So it doesn't take too much time to get around.
That's convenient.
It wasn't planned.
Normal people going to a bar at 2 in the afternoon.
John, he doesn't run in, but he walks steadily, with pace in, sits down at the bar table next to the bartender. I would like some chocolate milk, please.
The bartender gives you a quizzical look because a large, strong-looking guy has come in and asked for chocolate milk, then shrugs his shoulders and prepares to prepare for you. He gets the milk from the ice box and reaches under the bar and puts in a couple spoonfuls of cocoa powder, mixes up, and hands it to you. What are you boys here for, other than chocolate milk?
Chocolate milk makes you strong.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much just getting chocolate milk for the boy. It's a growing boy.
I don't recognize you fellows. What was that?
We're looking for information on the Corbitt house.
The Weber house.
Yeah, as soon as you said Corbitt house, he really, like, he kind of, Corbitt's place? What do you want with that?
Saw it's up for sale. Trying to find out more about it.
For lease.
Right. John perks up. I'm from out of town, and I'm thinking about buying it.
Okay, so since you're both trying to kind of pull a fast one on him, let me go ahead and see a fast talk.
Great.
I wish to use persuasion.
Oh, great. Great.
Where's fast talk? Why can't I ever find anything? And I think
John does not talk fast. John talks very slow.
So I'm gonna click on fast talk on your character there, Daniel.
No. I'm almost back.
Ooh.
Are you sure you don't want to take his?
I can't see it. I don't know. Yes, I'll take
You
it.
beat a hard, or you tied a hard.
Which is notably 2.
So yeah, he believes you that. What was you? Were you trying to pull the fast one on him about? That you're just
that we heard it's up for sale, and we're looking for more information on it.
the barkeep. When he hears that you're interested in the property, he just shakes his head and says, "Oh, nothing good comes from that place. There was a guy a while back ago, went by the name of Hall. Wasn't a regular, but come in every once in a week to chat. He was a nice guy. I thought they were nuts for bringing a family into this neighborhood, but the man swore he was going to be an up and coming neighborhood and wanted to get in while the prices were good. And I guess if you're here, it turns out that he was pretty right."
Except that he's dead.
What, old Hall? No, he's not dead. It was maybe a year and a half ago now, I guess. He had that horrible accident, went crazy. But no, he's just locked up over in the North Texas crazy place.
Oh.
Oh, then
It appears we have colored outside the lines. It's assuming he died.
when did he lose the house then? Because I'm not buying it from Mr. Hall, or it's not Mr. Hall trying to sell it.
Yeah, that's the real tragedy of the situation. It wasn't but a year after his accident, that pretty little wife of his, she went mad too. What was that? I think it's just a month or so back. I guess she just couldn't take the stress of raising those 2 kids by herself. Last I heard, Mr. and Mrs. both were locked over at the Crazy Hall.
What about their kids?
Yeah, whatever became of their kids?
The kids? I guess they went to live with some relatives. I think Hall mentioned having relatives down south. Austin, San Antonio, someplace like that.
So, what accident did they have?
Well, no one really knows. They said Mr. Hall, he fell off his roof or something.
Fell off his roof, up his stairs, and onto a knife.
Oh, don't believe everything you hear. I think he fell off the roof, but yeah, he went into the butcher shop across the street there and came out with a big old butcher's knife, started swinging it around at people. I saw the whole thing. Some mounted police officers, they came charging down the street, lassoed him from 20 yards, 30 yards maybe even.
Wow, 30 yards.
That must have been a very long rope.
At least 100 feet.
What can I say? The mounted police around here, there's something else.
Have you ever heard of baseball? Maybe we should get some of them involved.
But I mean, just before he went crazy, every time he came in, he was always talking about just constant nightmares and about a dark figure with burning red eyes.
Seems normal.
In fact, he actually had a priest come out at one point and perform an exorcism. It was pretty interesting to watch that father walk around the house, swing his little ball of incense around, and one of them altar boys sprinkling holy water behind him. When he left, I saw Hall gave him a nice little ornate box. Must have been for payment. It had a little, little cherry red box.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think that box was maybe a leftover from those chapel nuts who were here a while ago. They had this weird symbol on it. I think I saw it around their place once or twice.
Chapel nuts?
Do tell.
Are those like Brazil nuts?
No, you guys know about the chapel. It was there on the other side of the Trinity River. Where was it? Somewhere near Central Avenue, I think. It up and disappeared overnight. I had a buddy who swore he saw some coppers burn the place down with everyone still inside it. Good riddance, too. Kids weren't safe around here when those nuts were around.
By the river.
Yeah, they were the ones who owned the Corbitt house. Before that new hoity-toity guy, he bought it up. Oh, shortly after Miss Hall went to the nut house.
Is that,
of course, you wouldn't catch me on the Corbitt place without a jerry can full of gas and a dozen matches. I say anyone who sets foot in that place is just asking to go crazy.
Is that the Clear Fork Trinity River?
So you told me not to believe everything I hear about crazy people in the hall, in the Corbitt house, and then tell me don't go in there or you'll go crazy.
Oh, you gotta know who to listen to.
See, he's not crazy.
Inside check, because I'm listening to him on both statements.
Sorry, you said you want to do an insight?
If that's the thing you can even do, because you told me not to believe all the crazy stuff you hear, and then that I'll be crazy if I go there.
Yeah, so in Call of Cthulhu, what you're going to do is a psychology roll. So if you want, I can either roll that for you, or you can just roll a percentile dice roll for me. And
So my psychology is no stats in it, so 10%. And I rolled a 32.
Okay, so yeah, you can't tell what's going on with this bartender.
Seems like he's scared of something.
Seems like he's a paranoid freak.
So tell me about these guys that were in the chapel when supposedly the police burned it down. Why did they burn down a chapel with people inside of it? Or why did why are you seem happy that this building up and disappeared?
Oh yeah, kids in the neighborhood just weren't safe. It was all over the news. I don't know how you could have missed it. But yeah, there was a whole group of kids that just went missing around the turn of the century. And I swear it had something to do with those chapel people. Everyone around here knew it was those chapel people. Old Corbitt, he used to go to that chapel.
What did the chapel people do?
Well, no one knows. That was made it so strange.
Okay, secret cult. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a map of the city anywhere? Like, does anyone... here's John's just gonna ask, do you have a map of the city?
No. No, everyone just knows their way around. I mean, I can kind of draw a rough sketch of some place you might want to get to.
Yeah. Can you draw a map that shows the river, the church, and the Corbitt house?
Yeah.
Big pink circle.
So, Zach, are you blowing a big old bubble gum on my screen or something?
I was playing with my aura.
That's his aura of romance.
Yeah, so what he does is he shows you where he is, and he's just a couple streets north and one street east of Corbitt's house right now. And then if you go up a little ways north and then head a couple miles east, you're going to cross over the Trinity River. And then just beyond the Trinity River, he kind of does a big circle around an area. It was somewhere around here. It's been just, I don't know, almost a quarter century, I think, since it burned down. It's been gone a long time.
Maybe next week Matt can actually draw this map and put it on the handouts.
Oh, sure. I can throw a map together.
Not now. Yeah, for next session.
I'm sticking with the first guy built a crazy Cthulhu shrine house, sold it to the Corbitts. When the chapel got burned down, they moved the cult into the house, and the Cthulhu shrine in the house has been slowly driving everyone who lives there insane. But the shrine is hidden behind a secret door leading to the secret basement, and no one who lives there now knows why everyone's going insane. That's where I'm leaning.
Look at the brain on this guy, Mr. 105 Intelligence.
And I think, short of the references to Cthulhu, that's what my character thinks too.
Okay.
Okay. I guess it's worth poking around over there. We're not gonna find anything unless we actually start looking.
So I'm gonna make direct eye contact with the bartender and say, I'm gonna try to get his gut reaction to what I'm about to say. I'm gonna ask him, so if we go by that house, do you have a jerry can I can borrow?
No, I don't even own a car.
Okay.
A jerry can?
That's what he called a gas can earlier.
What is this, Britain?
No, son, it's Texas. I think you might need to sit down and have a cold one. The heat's getting to you.
Cold one?
Another round of chocolate milk.
Maybe all of y'all need a cold one.
Yeah, pour me another chocolate milk.
Yeah, so he gladly pours
actually
the
have
chocolate milk.
Something that comes from a bottle.
Milk comes from a bottle.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't mix with the local water.
Yeah. What are you interested in?
Something. What would my something on the lighter side that comes from a bottle that's sealed.
So you see plenty of whiskey around.
I'm in a beer.
A beer.
I do a whiskey.
Yeah, he
What
pulls.
kind of craft brews do you have? Do you have any artisanal blends?
He gives you a peculiar look, grabs a mug off the shelf, and pulls the handle of a beer. It's a darker colored beer. And he just sets it down in front of you.
I don't drink it. I say thank you and I pick it up, but I don't drink it.
John's gonna look at you and be like, "Are you gonna finish that?"
I'll hand him the glass.
Yeah,
John drinks the beer after he drinks the chocolate milk.
Oof.
Yeah, it's a mug of beer, all right. It's cold. It's cool at least.
It's below room temperature.
Marginally.
I don't think that would be a good idea in real life, but hey, this John can handle this.
Yeah, it makes my stomach churn thinking about.
Milky beer taste.
Pass. I'll just do a whiskey. As
Okay,
the kids say.
He grabs a much smaller glass. Goes over to the ice box, chips off a little bit of ice in there, and pours you a shot of whiskey.
No, a pint of whiskey. No.
It comes in pints?
Yeah, they're cool.
How was you last night?
Which admittedly isn't exactly proper etiquette since you didn't ask for it on the rocks, but he's quite convinced that all of y'all need something to cool you down.
Yeah, I'll let it slide this time. I do actually like rocks, so. Aight. So, let's see. At this point, it is getting on in the day, right? Or no?
I mean, yeah, it's like 3 o'clock.
All right, guys, we should
it
get
took
going.
you a little bit of time to ask around for it, and y'all sat down, had some cool ones, or didn't, as the case may be. Had a chat. You know, we'll even say it's like 3:30, but
Okay.
All right, guys, we should get going.
Do you want to go by the house, throw a couple of rocks at the windows or something?
That's not what I had in mind. All right.
Yeah.
So John's gonna pay his tab, whatever is due.
okay.
He pays for the 2 milks. He didn't buy the beer.
I'll pay for the beer.
Yeah.
Not that I really have a choice.
Yep. All right. Let's mosey on out of here.
Alrighty. So you're heading to Corbitt's place then?
Yes.
Yeah, might as well scope it out. Let's feel the vibe.
For the record, my intelligence score is now a 70.
Okay.
It's much more reasonable.
You went from way smarter to me than not as smart.
Huh. I do not have a good picture of the outside of the house. My bad.
Oh no.
We'll just
And my
put this back
size
up.
drops
Maybe
down
we
to
should leave it there as
75.
a cliffhanger.
Wow, that's gonna really mess me up. Oh, but that also screws with all the points that I had to allocate to skills. Ugh.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it, but I wasn't talking about it yet.
Ugh. So I basically have to recreate my character with the right. Nope. Killing me, Smalls. Okay, I'll do that later.
Okay.
I'm still always gonna picture his character as someone who thought he was really smart, but is actually not. He's not stupid, but he's not above average.
Much smart. He is not as smart as he thinks he is. Which, may or may not be true of the player.
Okay. You come to the Corbitt house. The front yard is overgrown with vines wrapping around a low wrought iron fence, gnarled by the passage of time. The Corbitt house sits on a large lot and is the only residential home on the block, and several of the less reputable businesses have had their buildings torn down after they were forced to close to give way to newer homes and offices. The wooden brick home is overshadowed by taller, newer buildings on either side. The front of the house faces the street. In the rear are overgrown plants and a half-collapsed arbor. The wrought iron fence ends at the front of the house and is connected to an old wooden privacy fence. There's a gate leading into the backyard on either side of the house. Most of the pickets in the privacy fence have been eaten away by time in one form or another, yet strangely you can't help but notice that amidst the broken pickets and termite-eaten boards, not a single picket is missing. Every place that you would think would offer some glimpse into the backyard is covered with a thorny vine or prickly bush. Even the taller buildings on either side would have a hard time seeing into that backyard due to the dense foliage provided by the evergreen live oaks that cover the property. It creates an impressive illusion, as if the house was trying to withdraw back into the shadow cast by the trees and the buildings surrounding it.
Question for the DM.
Yeah.
We have permission by the new owner of this house to be here.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the new owner hired the detective, and that detective just kind of outsourced us.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I'm
he gave us a
gonna
key,
start
yeah?
cutting. I'm gonna start cutting at. I'm gonna look along the back gate area, pull out my survival knife, and start cutting some of the vines and stuff so I can see through.
Okay. I mean, there's a gate.
We have a
While
key
he's doing
for
that,
it.
I open the gate and look. Okay.
No, I'm gonna cut my way through.
Good luck. I'm gonna go through the gate.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang back. I'm not gonna step on the property yet.
Oh, that doesn't gel with opening the gate.
Okay, so
I'm just doing it more to be funny.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Was there a spot in the gate that looked like it was thinner, other than the thorns and the vines, but where the actual like metal of the gate looked thinner or more rotted, or a gap, or
sure. So the wrought iron fence is like one of those half height ones, just surrounding the property a little bit. Like you could literally hop over it if you wanted to.
okay.
But walking up you can walk up the center, the sidewalk leading up to the front door. It's where the low wrought iron fence meets the backyard. There's a tall wooden privacy fence.
Okay.
Got it.
Still, the taller fence in the back. Was there any spot that looked like it's been rotted or damaged, or?
Most of the fence looks as if it is it needs to be replaced, but there are no missing pickets on the wooden fence. It's just wherever there would be like a hole in the fence line, all you see is thorns or vines, like little ivy vines.
I'm still gonna cut a hole in the fence.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength then.
My computer just. There we go. Strength checked?
Yep.
Did that work? Oh, that just gave me the strength number.
Yeah.
There you go.
Survey says. Yeah.
Nice.
So you go over there with your knife, and you very quickly remove 6 pickets from this privacy fence. You have more than enough space to now step into the backyard and not use the gate on either side.
I'm glad that worked because my second idea would have been worse.
Going through the gate?
No. No, think more violent.
Okay.
Think more property damage.
I like your spirit, maybe a little misguided.
So,
Wait, let's have a character reaction. So what do the other 2 gentlemen do or think while they see John just pull out this big knife and go, and just bust a hole in the fence?
I'm going with confusion.
Yes, I'm gonna look on dumbfounded.
We were given permission to be on the property, not destroy the property. May as well just burn the house down if you're worried about that.
He pokes his head out from the fence. Rule number 1: always know your exits.
And your
I just
apparently.
made my own.
But you entered through it.
He doesn't care. He goes back through.
okay, so
I'm
John.
I'm going to say every door is also a window, and I'm going to open the gate.
Okay, so John and Eric, when you enter the backyard, you see that it matches the condition of the front yard. There's thick vines, there's ivy. The vines are covering the trees that are sporadically placed around the home's property. Tall grass obscures everything. The dense foliage of the trees should create a serene and peaceful backyard, a safe haven from the heat that's, tormenting you here in August. But instead, there's an odd chill in the air, and the dappled sunlight just makes everything look sinister. There's a second door on the side of the house, just to your... I'm assuming you went on, the right gate, so it would be just to your left as you get into the backyard. I want both of you all to give me a spot hidden check.
Spot hidden.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay out on the sidewalk and think, I don't really want to wade into the deep grass.
Spot hidden is actually something my character was designed to do.
Where did mine go? It didn't show up.
I see it. You got a 66.
I rolled a 33. And my spot hidden is 74 with a difficult of 37.
Okay.
Wait, are my spot hidden showing up as purple now?
Apparently.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Huh. That's why I was confused. I thought purple was someone else.
Oh, yeah, weird. And it was just red for your strength. I guess,
No,
you get to
Daniel's was
select
red.
what color each of your rolls do in Astral.
My rolls aren't showing up there, Zach.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so,
I know that. I'm paying
Eric,
attention.
you see that amidst the foliage and the trees and the vines, there is a kind of it looks like a very low well, like maybe just the remnants of a well. You see a lean-to shed that's half covered up by a tree, and then there's a greenhouse way in the back corner of the property, which you would think should have been something very easy to notice, but there's just something about it that kind of makes your eyes pass over it quickly every time you look over there.
I'm going to point it out to everybody.
What did you
Hey,
find?
Odd placement for a shed. You think we should check it out? Okay, I go and check it out.
Okay, so you're headed to what?
The shed.
All right.
John has his knife ready in case.
I'm going to make sure John stays in front of me.
Fine, John will go in the shed first, with his knife drawn ready in case, like, I don't know. He's concerned at this point.
Wow.
fine.
So jumps
Big
out.
scary man with a
Yeah.
knife stay in front of me, not behind me.
So the shed, it's very small. It's an old lean-to, and it's butted up against the tree and was covered by vines. You can see that there's a door behind the vines, and with a little elbow grease, John is more than able to continue his assault against Mother Nature.
Cuts all the vines.
And you're
Fine,
able
so
to clear it
I'll
away,
now.
and there's the door, which it has like a little metal latch, or a little metal handle that you can pull on to try and open the door.
Okay, I open the door.
Go and give me a strength for that.
And a sanity check.
Yeah. So let's see. That's a hard. Yeah. So you know what? You pull the door, and it's really stuck by sap, and just the water is penetrated and everything's swollen. But with a good final tug, you just rip the door right off the wall, the shed there. That the screws just couldn't hold on anymore as you
Okay.
finally break it free and keep pulling. And
Can
so
I
there you are,
throw
just
the
standing
door?
with the door.
Can I throw the door,
You
like,
disturbed the crows too.
the same direction my pull would have been?
Yeah.
I want to just throw the door in that direction.
Okay. How, Eric? Where are you standing now, buddy?
I'm standing behind the man with the knife.
Give me a dodge.
Well, that should be like, let's say if I was pulling from my right to my left, the door would go to the left. If it was pulling from left to right, the door would go flying to the right.
I feel like I would stand out of the way, but without knowing he's gonna fling the door behind him, I can't say that I would be out of the way. And based on my 82 that I just rolled,
Oh God!
and it's above my 58 dodge.
Yeah. So Eric, go ahead and take just one hit point of damage there.
I will note that.
John's gonna turn around, look at him, and be like, "You should have learned how to dodge."
Dirty glare.
So there it is. The door is well off its hinges. It is a very small shed. It's one of those sheds that is so small that you gotta come out of it just to change your mind, basically.
Wait, what?
The shed is so small, you have to leave it to change your mind. Yeah, we're moving forward.
John's gonna peek inside. How dark is it inside the shed?
It is, there is enough sunlight left in the day where you can pretty clearly see inside of it. Like I said, this is real small. You could walk in there if you want to.
It's like
but,
a closet.
Yeah, more like a
all right,
closet.
all right. John's gonna look inside.
Okay, go ahead and give me a spot hidden. And while you're doing that, inside you do find fairly easily that there are a wide assortment of tools. There's garden rakes, hedge trimmers, shovels, earth movers, and the like. Each one of these is rusted and pitted with age. The wooden handles of some of the tools have just completely rotted away. It's impossible to tell when the last person to enter the shed even was.
Why isn't it working?
The darkness in the shed makes the ordinary garden tools look like long, sharp fingers ready to lash out at any moment.
Click to chat. There it goes.
Nice.
My spot.
Yay! Finally, I see something.
Nice. Yeah. So as you're kind of poking around here with your knife and stuff, I'm assuming, you kind of poke around underneath some shelves, and you feel a sudden resistance where there shouldn't be, like a hard thunk instead of the soft earth that you've been feeling. Clearing away the dirt and kind of a thick layer of leaves, you find a box in remarkably good condition. There is a...
Huh?
What's that?
What's a box doing here?
Who stores boxes in the shed?
On the top of the box, you see a triangle made out of wise with a red eye in the center, which I will go ahead and share a document with you right now. In fact, I'm going to be sharing 2 documents.
Yeah.
Yep. Colt moved into the house. Grab a can. Burn it down. Matt, can you pull up those documents?
Yeah.
Or share them
Let
on
me
the screen,
start
'cause I
with
can't-
what is on the... This is what you find on the outside of the box. This Y, this kind of Y symbol that makes
What?
a triangle with a
Oh,
red
there.
eye in the center.
I was looking on the webpage, not on StreamYards, for the.
So it's Illuminati.
Didn't,
Oh, okay,
Mr.
John's gonna
Hall-
look at it and be like,
why
why I? He shows it to, who's right behind him? Is it not Carlo or
It's Eric.
Eric? Eric, do you make any sense out of these Y's and this I in the middle?
It looks like your standard creepy cult signal. I think the cult from the burned down chapel moved into the house.
Creepy cults.
Didn't Mr. Hall go crazy screaming something about red eyes?
I don't know. John kind of ignores the connection.
And then let me also share with you what's in the box.
Huh?
I am
What's in the
becoming more
box?
suspicious that the rest of my party is involved with the cult.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Double Paycheck.
Okay, how about you go ahead and read this for us, Wes?
I can't even see it. I mean, I can see the text, but I can't make out one word or the other.
Okay. It says,
Because-
success. My body flows with the essence of the 12 children now held within my thrall. The eternal torture of their souls provides spiritual sustenance, channeled through me to increase my spiritual power. The prayers and incantations which invoke the blessings of the grantor of secrets are the key to the soul battery. They are linked to me and I claim them. I will forever thrive on their suffering. Their anguished shells have been hidden on my home's ground, and their souls will bolster my power in perpetuity.
Oh, that's so creepy.
And I apologize, it is a typo. It should read 4 children,
Not 12?
not.
Okay.
So you know, not
John's-
that bad.
John's just gonna hand this writing to Eric. Like, here, I think I found a clue.
I'm gonna finish reading it and hand it to Carlos. Or
I'm out front.
you're up front? Oh, that's right. You're not there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand it back to him and say, put that back in the box.
It's not for us.
No, you know what? I'm gonna hold on to this. He folds it. He folds it nicely into half and then half again, and sticks it in a pocket that's in his shirt.
Keep the box with us, but
How big is this box?
This box, it's about, what would that be? Kind of like a,
shoebox? Tissue box?
yeah, shoebox size. It's about a shoebox size.
John's gonna put it on his head, and then sigh that how small it is.
I get it.
Anything else? Anything else in the shed? John's gonna continue looking.
No, nothing else in the shed. Just the broken tools are all that's left.
Broken tools. Okay. Ooh, what kind of tools?
So there's nothing really usable in there. There's some garden rakes, hedge trimmers, shovels, earth movers, things like that. Garden tools. The metal is all pitted and rusted. The handles are just, you ever touch wood and it just completely falls apart in your hands as soon as you touch it because of how old and termite-eaten it is. That's what you got here.
I picture John touching every single one. Just to see, if they're usable at all.
All right, let's roll for tetanus.
Does every single one break as he touches them?
Yeah, I mean, it's garbage stuff in here.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, the only reason the box is even survived is because there is a thick varnish over the top of it.
I'm going to mutter something in effect of, I think I know what happened to the 2 missing children.
I thought it was 12.
The note said 12, but it was a typo. It was supposed to say 4.
Yeah.
And we know that there are 2, the Halls had 2 kids.
Yes.
That went missing after they both parents went crazy.
Did they go missing, or were they sent to go live with their families?
Their only 2 caregivers went crazy, and everyone just assumed the kids were taken care of.
Checks out.
So we're not sure.
Yeah, but we just found a creepy note in the house about children's souls being tortured for all eternity, and their bodies, their withered carcasses being on the property grounds. So,
look, I met someone far away from here that wrote a lot crazier stuff.
Okay. I quietly think to myself about the man who just put a box on his head.
All right, John leaves the shed to go back to the backyard.
All right.
Is there a back door to the house?
There is a back door, yes.
Is the back door in about the same condition as the rest of the yard, like the shed?
No, the house itself seems to be decently enough maintained.
John's gonna look at Eric. How about you open this door?
This is the door into the house, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we're ready to go in the house yet.
Why not?
I think that'll have to be in the next episode.
Well, yes, but because everyone who's gone into this house has been reported to have come out crazy, and we don't have enough information yet. This definitely seems like a tomorrow morning thing, not a tonight thing.
And it is starting to get late in the evening if you want to make your contact.
The date that already went on.
Yeah, and then meet your date,
fine.
yeah.
Fine. You go. I'm gonna linger around for a little while.
Ooh,
Okay. If you get killed, try to do it with witnesses.
Okay, so Carlo, what's your plan?
On my way out, I will explain everything we found to Carlo.
Oh, all right. I will. I'm just hanging out, smoking whatever, just kind of scuffing the sidewalk.
So are you gonna follow Eric to the newspaper, or are you gonna stick around the house?
I don't really want to be here. I think I'll go with the newspaper.
All right. So they're gonna head out, and while they're doing that, John, what would you like to do?
Describe the adjacent buildings again.
Yeah, so the Corbitt house is the only house actually left kind of on this street area. You got 2 large kind of office-type buildings on either side of it. And then also on the street, you kind of got some torn-down buildings where the owner was forced to to kind of pack up shop after the ordinances were passed against the half-acre, against martial, after the martial law time happened. And the buildings have been torn down just because they're already such nasty buildings. So they decided to kind of do some urban renewal type projects here.
The building torn down, like completely, or is it still half standing, or?
It's still half standing.
How tall is it?
It's a one-story building.
Is there still a roof?
No.
Damn. John is going to stay overnight in the abandoned building across the street, keeping an eye on the house.
All right.
Making any notes of anything he sees.
Taking to the house so it went away.
Yep.
Okay. So we will pick up with John later, and for now we will transition back to the newspaper. There we are. Yeah. So Carlo and Eric, the two of you arrive kind of as everything's shutting down. People have left the building, and you are easily enough able to meet up with your contact, Thomas.
Okay. I will ask him what he found.
So Thomas explains that the Star Telegram was only founded in 1906, so I wasn't able to find a whole lot about past owners. Maybe you'd have better luck looking, I don't know, at a library or something if you want something older than 1906, but look, don't tell anyone I did this for you. Artie, he worships the Star Telegram, and I don't want to get fired. I need this job. But he does give you the following two handouts.
Ooh. I'm going to speak for Daniel and say thank you, and our lips are sealed, as he appears to have dropped out.
Oh.
Nope, I'm in the backstage.
Hey.
There he is.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. So yes, at this time, you can pull up handout 2 that I'd already shared with you, and then I'm also sharing a second handout. And Thomas says, yeah, I looked through these articles, man. Weird things happen at this place. What sort of mess are you getting yourself involved with, Eric?
Yeah, real estate scheme.
Real estate scam.
Okay, so do one of you want to read handout 2 for us?
It stops moving around.
I'm trying to...
Local Fort Worth house. Whatever it is has destroyed 3 families in the last 40 years. 2-story house at 1500. Has been the site of fear, madness, death, murder since before the turn of the century, 1880. A family of Spanish immigrants by the name of Sanchez rented the property and moved in. The horrors happened, but what horrors happened to those people that year will never be fully known, save that of a series of violent attacks of some kind that left both parents dead and their 3 children crippled for life. The house stood vacant for almost 20 years, but in 1909, another family moved in. From the time the family moved in, Mr. and Mrs. Jones fell prey to illness and sickness, almost as if the house itself was conspiring against them. Their children did not fare much better, though all of them lived in the house for several years. The terror reached a head when, in 1914, the oldest of the Jones children went mad and killed himself with a kitchen knife. The Jones family moved out after that, heartbroken at their loss. So that's 4 kids, I think. The terror reached a head. The 3rd family rented the house in 1917, but left after less than a month when all of them became violently ill at the same time. Is the house haunted? Perhaps there is something wrong with the water, or some disease lingers within the age frame for when it was built. In any case, anyone who dares live there now had better be brave and strong. They take their lives in their own hands. And what's that written in red up at the top right?
It says,
John.
John, stick to the facts. This is completely unprintable. Shape up or start looking for a new job. And then the other document. Okay, I'll go ahead and read this since the Zoom's not working very well on it. Dated Thursday, May 8th, 1920. Wife of madman committed. In a bizarre repeat of the last fall's madman who terrorized the streets of Hell's Half-Acre, his wife has now been committed. Gloria Hall was recently committed to the North Texas Hospital for the Insane after she was found huddled on the front step of her house at 1500 Houston Street, babbling about a haunting form with burning eyes. Mrs. Hall spoke little but reportedly claimed that something was in the house with her family. She told the police of someone or something trying to get into the windows and blood appearing from nowhere in various parts of the house before lapsing into silence. However, after a thorough search of the home, police could find no evidence of forced entry or anyone else in the home beyond her two sons. Last October, David Hall, husband of Gloria, was also committed to the North Texas Hospital for the Insane. The couple's two children are being sent to live with family in San Antonio. And that's all Thomas has to give y'all.
Okay. I would say that's real good work, Thomas. Thanks.
No problem, and thank you for your support of our cause.
Is this character's last name Potts?
It is now.
Thomas Potts. I don't get it.
Oh, it absolutely is now. And with that, Mr. Potts kind of, tilts his hat and heads out before anyone sees him talking to y'all.
So we left John. Are we going to meet up with him tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll head out to the house first thing in the morning.
All right, sounds good.
So what are the two of you all going to do at this point?
Go get a flashlight.
Don't you have a date?
Assuming we either went on that before this meeting or shortly after. Dates in the 20s didn't run late. Wait, no, that was flapper period, so it was pretty debaucherous.
Yeah, so we'll say that the two of you all decide that you are going to meet at a jazz club tonight.
All right.
Not you.
Oh.
Hello, this is Carlos, my third wheel.
Oh man.
So we go on our date. We already played out those conversations, and we have a great time and say goodnight.
All right.
I do not take her home.
And Carlo, what is your character going to be doing this evening?
I guess I'm gonna go home.
But do you take her to her home?
Carlo, I'm going to need you to make a spot hidden check.
Sure, maybe. Spot my character sheet is off in the weeds. All right.
Okay.
Now I'm purple, and I failed. So.
Okay, so, Carlo, you are at home, sitting in the lounge, doing whatever you do in such a place, smoking a cigar or having some whiskey, I don't know. When suddenly, you hear the sound of I say you hear, though the window next to you crashes as the brick is thrown through it.
Oh, great.
With a paper note written on it. You quickly run outside to try and see who did it, but you see absolutely nothing. The person is long gone.
Darn. I am not quick on my feet. All right, what's the brick say?
The brick says, if you value your life, stop investigating the Corbitt house.
Nice.
And that is where we are going to end the session for tonight. I hope that you've enjoyed part 1 of our playthrough of The Haunting, despite our technical issues and audio flaws. If you're enjoying this content, please be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment below on how you think we did for our first attempt to play some Call of Cthulhu, or comment on other modules you'd be interested in seeing us play in the future. If you haven't already, then click that subscribe button and bell icon to be notified when part 2 of The Haunting is released. Feel free to contact me on any of the usual social media sites, including Patreon now, since I guess I'm a hopeless shill like the rest of these YouTuber slobs. Until the next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.